Hello students, I am Dr. Rahul Mene, Assistant Professor and Head in the Department of English at Sri Shankaracharya Mahavidyalaya, Junwani, Bhilai. Today we are going to study uh, a topic of clauses under the paper Communication Skills for BCA first year. So what is clause? First we have to look at the word clause. It can be defined as a clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb. Now this clause is divided into two categories. First, it is written as an independent clause, and the second one is subordinate clause. Now we have to look at the first one. What is an independent clause? An independent clause, or it can also be called as a main clause also, expresses a complete thought and can stand by itself in a sentence, whereas a subordinate or a dependent clause does not express a complete thought and cannot stand alone. So what we have understand here, one is independent clause, that is the main clause, which expresses a complete thought, whereas in a subordinate clause it does not express a complete thought and it is dependent on its main clause. So we can very easily understand this by an example. uh, in independent clause, each independent clause has its own subject and verb and expresses a complete thought, as we have discussed earlier. For example, the soccer team traveled to Delhi and they won their match. Okay, so what this example shows, in the example above, the two independent clauses. The first one is the soccer team traveled to Delhi, and the second one is they won their match. So in the example above, the two independent clauses are joined by a comma. I think your the comma is visible to you all, and the coordinating conjunction and is also connected here, so that the both the independent clause sentences are joined by a comma and. Okay, so we can also understand this by an example. I stuffed all the envelopes and Rajesh took them to the post office. Now here the bold letter shows that the each sentence has in their own, they are independent and they are not dependent on the other sentence. But when we are joined together by a coordinating conjunction, and Rajesh took them to the post office. So if you club together the whole sentence, it looks in the form of, it looks like I stuffed all the envelopes and Rajesh took them to the post office. Similarly, the other sentences follows, I did all the work but he took all the credit. Okay. Now the third one is, I am new at PowerPoint, comma, but I like it. So what it tells all about, so the sentences which are joined, both the sentences are joined by and, but, and similarly in the form of comma also. Okay, so now we look at the other part of the clause, that is called the coordinate clause. This one is also quite interesting. Coordination, as we all know, we all coordinate in some manner or the other, gives equal attention to the two items. Suppose by using the coordinating conjunction, we have seen in the previous example also, and, but, for, or, nor, yet, and so. The examples can be understood in this manner also. The dog ate Marvin's favorite tie, and the cat rubbed white hair on Marvin's black suit. So we can understand it in the below given example also. Both clauses could stand alone. The both clauses, I mean to say that the dog ate Marvin's favorite tie, and the second one, is the cat rubbed white hairs on Marvin's black suit. So, when both clauses could stand alone and when joined with and, they get equal attention. So, the coordinate clause can be understood in a very simple manner. They are independent as an individual, but when they are joined with and, they got equal attention. So, moving on to the next is another important part is the second part, the subordinate clause. The name itself suggests subordinate. That means someone is assisting. When one part of the sentence is not fully capable, some other part of sentence which is dependent on the first part or the main clause, that we can understood from this sentence. Okay. So, words such as whom, because, what, if, and until signals that the clauses that follows them are subordinate. Subordinate clauses do not express complete thought. You have to focus on this line only. Subordinate clauses do not express complete thoughts and cannot stand alone. So, they have to depend on the main clause. We can see this by this examples, whom he asked, because he answered, what he had heard. So we can understand it in the next slide through the examples. The officer whom he asked for directions was very kind. The sentences which are written in the bold letters are the subordinate clauses because they cannot stand alone on their own. So they need some assistance. That's why the assistance is given by the other words like the officers, was, very, and kind. So if we read this sentence in a one go, we will find this. The officers whom he asked for direction was very kind. In the same way, because he answered so politely, the man called to compliment the officer. The chief of police was pleased by what he had heard. So we can understand the subordinate clause in the way that it is dependent on the main clause. So it is not stands by its own. So we can use the subordinate clauses in it can be used in as adjective, adverbs, and or nouns. So first we can look at the way it is used in the adjective clause. The adjective clauses functions just as the adjective does. Okay, so it modifies noun, it modifies pronoun, and adjective clauses are often introduced by relative pronouns. This is the class, the examples you can look at, because we have to understand the grammar can be understood only through the examples. Okay, so I am using more and more, trying to use more and more examples here. This is the class that I like the best. Uh, it comes under the essential clauses. Okay, it has been divided into this adjective clauses has been categorized into two manners. Okay, the first one is essential clauses and the second part is the non-essential clauses. So the sentences looks like in this manner. This is the class that I like the best. So the stress has been given on the class which is underlined here. Now in this next sentence, my classes which meet in room number 209 are all freshman classes. That means they are all freshers classes. So it is a non-essential clause. Similarly, they are the ones whom I prefer to teach. They are the ones means the recipient. They are the one whom I prefer to teach. So it comes under the adjective clauses. Okay. So next is the relative pronouns. So what is relative pronoun? There are sentences whom, who, whose, which, that. They all comes under the relative pronoun. These words are called the relative pronouns because they relate an adjective clause to the word that the clause modifies. Besides introducing an adjective clause and relating it to the another word in the sentence, the relative pronouns has a function in the adjective clause. So we have to use these words like whom, who, whose, which in that, so that it will relate an adjective clause and make sentence out of it. So examples of the relative pronouns. Raj, who enjoys reading, won a membership to the Book of the Month Club. Here the relative pronoun who relates the adjective clause to Raj. So who is used as the subject of the adjective clause. So we have to some points to ponder, that we have to look into the aspect that in many cases the relative pronoun in the clause may be omitted. The pronoun is understood and still has a function in the clause. Here is the now look at the example. Here is the salad you ordered. The relative pronoun that is understood. Here that word is not used, but it is understood. The pronoun relates the adjective clause to salad and is used as the direct object in the adjective clause. So it is used as a direct. So the example shows in this manner. Here is the salad you ordered. The adverbs job. Now what is the adverbs job? Adverb tells when, where, why, how, to what extent or degree, and under what conditions. So the adverb clause says that an adverb clause is a subordinate clause that modifies a verb, an adjective, or an adverb. For example, after I proofread my paper, I typed it. You can understand it. The concept is given there. The adverb clause after I proofread my paper tells what I typed it. So you can very easily understand from this sentence that the adverb clause written in the first part, after I proofread my paper, what it conveys that when it got typed. Okay. So adverb clause, when we continue to see more, you can watch these examples also. Because manicotti takes so long to prepare, it is a type of a dish. Joy makes it only on special occasion. So it can be used, that adverbial clause is used because manicotti takes so long to prepare tells why Joy makes it only on special occasions. So Joy only prepares this manicotti because it takes so long to prepare. So you have to understand in that manner only. So you and your brother may come with us if you want to, under certain conditions. So you and your brother may come with us if you want to. Here they have posted a condition. Like adverbs, adverb clause may also modify adjectives or adverbs. His pitching arm is stronger today than it ever was. Stronger is the adjective, and to what extent the arm is stronger. He want to convey that message only. My cousin Anshika reads faster than I do. So faster here is an adjective, and how much faster my cousin Anshika reads, that he wants to convey. So the subordinating conjunctions are, there are many words. Here are the list. After, although, as if, as if, as long as soon as, because, before, ever, even though, if, in order that, once, since, so that, then, though, unless, until, when, whenever, where, wherever, whether, while. So these words introduces to us in the form of a subordinate clauses. So now coming back to the noun clauses, a noun clause is a subordinate clause used as a noun. So a noun clause may be used as a subject, complement, predicate, nominative, or a direct object. So examples are, what Jessica did was brave and earned her praise from everyone. You can look at in the form of a subject. So the winner will be whoever runs fast. The letter written in the bold letters conveys the subject, the predicate. Similarly, you can see the examples in the form of a direct object, indirect object, and the object of the prepositions. So examples of clauses, I graduated last year. So it's a one clause sentence. We can look it in. We can also look it in this manner also. I graduated last year is conveys the one clause sentence. When we take it as a two clause sentence, it is written like that only. When I came here, comma, I saw him. And when a three clause sentence is given, when I came here, I saw him and he greeted me. So there are three categories: one clause, two clause, and three clause sentences. So the example of an independent clause, we can also take it. He is a wise man. I like him. Can you do it? Do it, please. Subject you is hidden here because the name of a person or anyone is not given here. Just it is in the form of a requesting tone. Do it, please. I read the whole story. Now, two independent clause, when it is clubbed together by the conjunction with the use of, it can be in this manner only. The sentences examples is given below. I want to buy a phone, comma, but I don't have enough money. Similarly, he went to London and visited the Lords. The subject of the second clause is he, so he visited the Lords is an independent clause. Whereas in the above sentence, there are two separate independent clause. I want to buy a phone and I don't have enough money. So both these sentences have independent clause. We can they can stand on their own. So examples of when we look at the examples of dependent clause, it looks like this. When I was chasing Rajesh, it was in the form of underlined sentences. I had an accident. So when we take it as an individual sentence, they are not able to stand on their own. So they need one sentence so that they can then only they will complete the chain. Okay. Like when I was chasing Rajesh, I had an accident. I know the man who stole the watch. He bought a car which was too expensive. I know that he cannot do it. He does not know where he was born. If you don't eat, I won't go. He is a very talented player, though he is out of form. So these are all the examples of a dependent clause. So that's all for now. The reference I have taken from this internet sources. Okay, thank you.